your host, Ms.
A wonderful hello to you all. Welcome to yet another special episode of Blind Date. I'm your host, Bob Monkhouse, and I'll be playing Cupid tonight to a desperate singleton looking for companionship and maybe more, with some other equally desperate singletons. So, would you please join me in welcoming our first singleton, Monty? Welcome to the show, Monty. How are you feeling?
Good, thanks. A little bit nervous.
I'm sure you are. So tell me, what made you want to go on Blind Date?
Well, Bob, I think there's been something missing in my life. I think the only path to real happiness is by going on national television and hunt for that special someone.
Right you are, Monty. Right you are. Well, let's meet our budding buddies, our future friends, and our potential partners. Right, number one. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Daisy Murphy and I'm from Ireland.
Woo! Ah, from Ireland. A lovely part of the world. Tell me, Daisy, what do you do for a living?
I currently represent the Irish Republican Army, often called the IRA for short.
You work with the IRA. Any hobbies?
I collect stamps.
Wow, that's very interesting. Wow. Thanks, contestant number one. Contestant number two, what's your name? Where are you from?
Hello Bob, my name is Nadia Yusuf and I'm from Palestine.
Wow! Where is that?
It's in the Middle East, right next to Israel.
So, what do you do for a living?
I work very closely with the Palestinian Liberation Organisation, the PLA.
Ah, the PLA. Right, lovely to meet you. Well, finally, on to our third contestant. What's your name? Where are you from? Stop scouting.
My name is Kifa Abdul and I'm from Saudi Arabia.
Wow. Quite an international episode today, eh? What do you do for a living, Kifa?
I've been a member of Al-Qaeda for the past 15 years. That takes up most of my time.
Al-Qaeda? How did you get into the country? Never mind that, though. There are three contestants. Please give them a big welcome. Right, well, Monty, a lineup of strapping young individuals for you to choose from. Do you have any questions?
I do.
Well then, fire away.
Right, I'm a very passionate person. What makes you passionate? That goes to contestant number one.
Hi Monty.
Hi.
Well, I'm glad you asked. As a member of the IRA, I am passionately anti-British. They have been treating us Irish terribly for the past 400 years or so, so I've been putting much of my life's work trying to undo some of the damage. I'm committed to getting the British to give up Northern Ireland and make it part of the Republic of Ireland. Only then will I turn my passions elsewhere.
Ooh. Right, same question to contestant number two.
Hi Monty.
Hi.
I too am a very passionate individual. I have dedicated my life to destroying the country of Israel. Israel was created after World War II on Palestinian lands, and since then we have been badly treated by the Israelis. I will not rest until Palestine regains the lands and becomes a proud country like it once was. After that, I may want to stop making war and start making...
Great answer, contestant number two. That just leaves contestant number three.
Well, Monty, passion is my middle name. What makes me hot under the collar is the way other societies, other ideas, and in particular the Americans, have started to infect my way of life. I live in Saudi Arabia, and I believe in traditional Islamic values, such as a strict observance of the Quran. But the Americans, the British, the Israelis, they've all been attacking Islam for years. It's time for us to stand up against them. And when we're successful, I'd be happy to be one of your many wives.
Wow. Some interesting answers there, Monty. Have you got any more questions for our lovely ladies?
Yes, I do. I believe that if you're passionate about something, you should do everything in your power to achieve it. So my question is this: how will you make your dreams come true? That goes to contestant number one.
Well, I'm a firm believer in the power of the bomb. In the IRA, we believe that nothing makes the government sit up better and listen to your demands than a well-placed bomb. That's why we have bombed key cities in London and Northern Ireland. Ever wondered why the bins on train stations are made of clear bags? That's because we used to place our bombs in them. We've also used guns to assassinate people who get in our way. Mainly Irish policemen, mind.
Oh, contestant number two?
Bombs are all well and good for the amateurs, but we take our line of work a little more seriously. We have launched commando raids into Israel, fired rockets into Israeli towns, hijacked aircraft, and carried out political assassinations. We have vowed not to let the Israeli government forget our demands.
Blimey. Same question to contestant number 3.
Well, we at Al-Qaeda are more than just a band of thugs. Sure, we can carry out attacks. Our use of the suicide bomber has been notorious, attacking targets in America, Britain and elsewhere. But we also provide training, resources and information to our many fans around the globe. For example, we often like to film ourselves making important statements and then releasing the video to news networks that show it to the world. It keeps our message out there.
Wow, that's clever. What's your next question, Monty?
Well, Bob, my motivation in life comes from my love of train sets. What motivates you? Contestant number 1.
Well, Monty, we at the IRA are nationalists. That means that we love our country and want what's best for our country. The nation of Ireland has been kicked down by the British for too many years, partly because they wanted our excellent land, partly because they are Protestants and we are Catholics. We've always suspected that that was one of the reasons why they hated us so. When they finally gave us our independence, they insisted that Northern Ireland remain part of Great Britain. What's more, our fellow Catholics have been mistreated in Northern Ireland since. We want revenge and a united Ireland. That's what motivates me.
Feisty one you are. Who's next, Monty?
Contestant number 2.
What motivates me, Monty, is my hatred of Israel. They argue that since the times of the Bible, the Jewish people have a right to the land in Palestine. Since they have forced themselves onto our land, they have grown stronger and stronger, whilst it's the Palestinian people who have suffered. My fellow countrymen now live in refugee camps, and the Israelis continue to build on our land. I think this is unfair, and some of us suspect that they do this because of religion. Some argue that they treat us worse because we are Muslims, and they're Jews.
Sounds tense.
Same question for contestant number 3.
As you all know, I'm motivated by my love of Islam, which is under threat from enemies on all sides. Islamic countries are being put under pressure by America to become democracies and to allow rights which go against those set up in the Quran. For example, allowing women to walk in public without hiding their faces. Perhaps more shockingly, America and their allies are now using their armies to fight Islamic countries. Just look at the carnage in Afghanistan and Iraq. We must fight back to protect Islam. That is my motivation.
Well, you can almost feel the passion from here. Do you have any more questions for these lovely ladies, Monty?
Just one, I think, Bob. I consider myself quite successful owning my own bungalow. How successful do you think you've been? Contestant number 1.
Well, I judge my own success on the success of my passion, the IRA. Recently, we created a political side of the IRA called Sinn Féin, which secretly negotiated with the British government. We now think that we should use peaceful means to achieve our aims, so we're currently trying to win votes in Northern Ireland to get support for the Northern Irish to join the rest of Ireland. We no longer use violence.
Interesting.
Same question for contestant number 2.
I suppose I've been less successful than Daisy. Our leader, Yasser Arafat, met with the Israelis in the 1990s, and we have now earned the right to rule ourselves in Palestine, but only in small sections of land. Those of us who still want to force Israel off our lands are turning to other groups.
Right, and the same question for contestant number 3.
Well, Monty, unlike these losers, we will never give up the fight. Sure, the Americans hit us hard when they invaded Afghanistan. A lot of our bases were there, and a lot of our finest men were killed. But the ideas of Al-Qaeda live on, and lots of new smaller groups have been set up, using our ideas and claiming to belong to us. And like these guys, I am far more successful.
Have you achieved anything yet?
Well, not yet, but it'll happen.
Well, there you have it. 3 passionate princesses for Monty to choose from. But before he does, let's get the final recap.
Well, Monty, are you going to choose contestant number 1? Daisy promises to blow your mind with her devotion to her cause, but will her anti-British sentiments leave you licking your wounds? Or how about contestant number 2? Nadia is irate about Israel and is willing to rocket their cities to prove it. But the question is, has she fired Cupid's rocket to your heart? Or what about contestant number 3? Kiefer will defend her religion to the death and has American targets in her sights, but has her charms blown you to pieces? Well, Monty, the decision is yours.
Right, number one. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Daisy Murphy and I'm from Ireland.
Ah, from Ireland, a lovely part of the world. So, tell me, Daisy, what do you do? And, for a living? Oh, come on again. Wow, that is clever. You've moved my line too far. Okay.
I was going to do it.
Well, Bob, I think there's been something missing in my life, and I think the only path to real happiness is by
Pink bosoms, is that what you're saying?
number two.
Bombs are all very well and good for the amateurs, but we take our line of work a little more seriously. We have launched commando raids into Israel, fired rockets into Israeli towns, hijacked aircraft and carried out political assassinations. We have vowed not to let the Israeli government...
What's wrong? We're holding it together around here.
Assuming a rocket launcher and an aeroplane.
How's my impression of a commando?
I missed that, it was just the... Bombs are all well and good for the amateurs, but we take our line of work a little more seriously. We have launched commando raids into Israel, fired rockets...
Hold it together, Rogers. I'm working with amateurs. No, I won't do the commando raids. I wouldn't go for number two. Back in there.
Bombs are all well and good for the amateurs, but we like to take our work a little more seriously. We have launched commando raids into Israel.
How come I'm doing this bloody walking back and forth as well? Some interesting answers there, Monty. Have you got any more questions you'd like to ask the ladies?
Yes, I do. I believe that if you're passionate about something, you should do everything in your power to achieve it. So my question is this: how do you make your dreams come true? And that one goes to contestant number 1.
Sorry, can you just... Let's try again.
Oh, let's just keep going through it.
Yeah, I was just going to
We were ready to.
Yeah,
Well,